Welcome back to Sidewalks Entertainment. Right now, we're going to take a look back at our 2009 interview. Here's our host, Rafael Siegel, and Mr. Charles Grodin.
Hey, welcome to Sidewalks, the entertainment project. Rafael Siegel here. Now, with such hits as the Beethoven films, The Heartbreak Kid, Midnight Run, and Heaven Can Wait on his acting resume, people may lose sight of the fact that he's also an accomplished writer, activist, and philanthropist. He is Mr. Charles Grodin. Charles, welcome to Sidewalks.
Thank you, Rafael. The only other Rafael that I recall meeting was Rafael De Niro, Robert De Niro's son. We were on our way to New Zealand for some bizarre reason to shoot a scene in Midnight Run. And I looked at him, I think he was about 10 years old at the time. I said, I know what your father and I are doing here, but why would you be here? Why do you want to come fly in these little planes and helicopters? He just stared at me. He had no idea what I was talking about, which is not unusual in my case, you know. But that was the other Raphael.
I got to say something. Mr. Grodin. If I'm 10 years old.
You're 10
and I
now?
hear you no.
Oh, if you were 10. I thought you were, my God, boy, what a, And you're a host of a show.
I know. What a booming voice I have at 10.
At 10. That's amazing.
My gosh.
Good for you. Good for you. Go get him, kid.
Well, if I were 10 years old and I hear you say that, I'm going to be terrified. I would just reach for the closest
It's a
parachute.
definite flaw. You know, I appeared at the New York Public Library with Gene Wilder the other night, and now I'm stopping it. I was going to say to the woman at the library, "Are you aware that Gene Wilder and I don't speak?" But I didn't. I said, "Now this is a joke. Are you aware that Gene Wilder and I don't speak?" Says, I have to stop that. And I just do it all the time. You know, I went into a restaurant the other day and somebody greeted me at a table and I said, "So that prison food didn't hurt you at all?" And happily, he wasn't just out of prison, but he might have been. And then, you know, the whole table might have looked at him. So you got to be careful with some of these jokes, you know.
So you're saying that your humor has gotten you in trouble sometimes?
Well, you know, when when I first appeared with Johnny Carson starting in 1973, I just didn't feel like I could go out there in front of 500 people, a band, millions of people watching. So I affected this malcontent personality, but the audience didn't know. Johnny Carson knew. In fact, I was under contract to him as a guest. The audience didn't know that I was joking. So he'd say, "So how are you?" I said, "Well, I don't want to answer that question because you have no interest in how I am." The audience would go, "Sss." Johnny said, sorry. So you have to be careful. And frankly, he didn't have any interest in how I was, but he was a terrific guy, and I got to know him and spend time with him after he retired.
That's very interesting to know this side of your personality, the fact that you're explaining it, because I was expecting a surly guy, a very sarcastic guy, and I'm getting that, but it's a little bit different. No, I'm just kidding. But you know what? It's good to have you with a good sense of humor, and we appreciate that. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of time here, and we have to jump. We wanted to find out all about you and stuff like this, but we have to jump right into why you're joining us here today. As I mentioned, you're an accomplished writer, and your latest book is How I Got to Be Whoever It Is I Am, a great title. Tell us about the book, Mr. Grodin.
Well, it starts when I was impeached as president of my 5th grade class at the age of 10. This is all true.
Impeached.
Impeached. Removed from office, not a woman involved. I don't know why I was impeached. I don't think it was appropriate or even legal. Then I was kicked out of school, kicked out of economics class in high school, kicked out of Hebrew school because I asked what the words meant that we were asked to recite on the blackboard. Be threatened to be kicked out by Uta Hagen, the famous acting teacher, because I dared to ask, "Why are we carrying imaginary suitcases and opening an imaginary window?" I don't mean this to be disrespectful. I seriously would like to hear the answer. I never got it, and eventually she dropped the exercise, but not before threatening me and growing to deeply dislike me. I don't mean it that way, but I really was looking for answers, and there were no answers, and that's why the exercises are no longer being done.
You are such a rebel. So, but this book, behind the scenes, if you like behind the scenes, I've said this before on our show, I love behind the scenes, and this book, you're going to get it, right? You're talking about, like you mentioned, Johnny Carson. You're talking about your experiences with Orson Welles, the before-mentioned Robert De Niro, and the list goes on, right?
Yeah, well, Orson Welles was kind of funny. I was friends with the late Anthony Perkins, and he knew Orson Welles, and we worked together in Catch-22, and he said, "Orson, I really want you to meet this young man, Charles Grodin. You know, he's a really good storyteller. I think you're going to really enjoy him." And Orson Welles looked at me like I was a lamp, because the last thing Orson Welles wanted was another storyteller in the room. Orson Welles didn't want anybody to speak. And that's okay with me, but I thought it was pretty funny. He just looked at me like a storyteller. How did he get in here? So get him out of here. But he took over when his scenes in Catch-22. He was telling Mike Nichols where to put the cameras, where to do with the lights. And Mike, acted like it was okay. I thought it was kind of strange to tell the director where to put the camera and all that. I wouldn't do that, no.
Now, you're a man of great advice, and I know we're running short on time here, but what makes a great actor?
Well, one of the things they never talk about in acting class is you should know your lines like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and know them early. You don't have to interpret them early. You can interpret them as you go into rehearsal, as you study it, but know your lines. Most people don't, and it's astonishing. You must know your lines like you can count to 10, or some of us know the alphabet,
Right, some of us. Well, you know the alphabet quite well because you're an accomplished author. Is this your 6th or 7th work?
I think this is my 7th book, but I don't write any of these books. I can't spell. Nothing has happened to me. So these are all other people's experiences, and I slap my name on it because these are unknown people. So that,
No, I was going to say, you do the cover photo shoot, you put your name on it, and it sells 1 million copies.
I get the color photo shoot, and that's good. And they put a lot of makeup on me, and that's important. It's always important to wear street makeup. Wear a nice base, even if you're just going to the store.
You know what? I use that all the time. You got to be kidding me. You know what? Whenever I have a guest that I want to talk to for about 3 hours, they always give us like 4 minutes. And so I'm pretty sure we're at the end of this. Once again, how I got to be whoever it is I am. Charles Grodin's book, you got to check it out. I'm going to check it out, certainly, if you guys haven't sent it to me for free. And I urge everyone to go to their local bookstore and pick it up. Charles Grodin, you are a joy to talk to. Thank you so much. You made me laugh this morning.
And I want to just add this. San Francisco is one of the only places I've ever been that I really liked a lot. Seriously.
Well, now we can lift the ban on Charles Grodin, everybody, okay? Mayor Gavin Newsom, Charles Grodin's welcome back after saying that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Charles.
Thanks.
Bye.
For more full-length celebrity interviews, visit SidewalksTV.com.